Everyone, welcome to another Review Room tutorial. Today we're going to be continuing our discussion on the assignment interface. Now, we talked about a few things before, but what we're going to talk about today is the concept of filters. So let's switch to view by submissions, and you'll see these submissions here. Now, sometimes, let's say that, well, actually, let me close this window to illustrate this point. You see, we're currently looking at local judges, okay? So let's go back to our group section. So if I click on design and click on setup groups, let's just see what kind of a setup we have here. So it looks like, let me just sort by reviewer type. So it seems like we have two reviewer groups, local judges and global judges, and we also have an applicant group called local applicants and global applicants. All right, so it might make sense in our case to have global judges view global applicants and local judges to view local applicants, right? That could be the case. So now that we know that, let's go back to local judges, the reviewer group. So as I click on that, the interface is going to load, and what I'm going to do then is click on assignments again, and that's going to open up my nice little assignment interface, and then we can talk a bit about the filters. So the point that I'm going to make here is that when I want to do the assigning, because I'm looking at local judges, I only want to assign local applicant groups, right? I don't want the global one. So one thing I can do, an easy way, and we just talked about this, is I can use the show me column and say, well, this is a local one, I can assign this one, and these other guys, forget about them, they're global, right? That's one way to do it. Or you might not want to see them in the first place. I mean, why would you have to, look and measure and that sort of thing? So there's another way to do this. So I can leave group selected, as a matter of fact, to illustrate the point. But if I click on filters here, you'll see that you're very familiar filters interface. So we always want to leave the has status is exactly active there, so that's not a problem. So let me click on add rule, and then what I'm going to do is think about the in group column. So in group is exactly, and then I'll say local applicants, that's good. Now I need to apply. So the apply button is over here, it says apply filters, and if I click on that, it says are you sure you want to refresh, all that. Okay, that's good, and now it's only showing me local applicants. Now, let's say I want to do the opposite. I click on filters again, and now I want to see only global applicants. Let's see what will happen. So the idea is, there's a lot of filter items, and also even how did people answer questions. So you can do a bunch of filters like that. Just make sure to check it out. Sometimes you'll see that there are some default filters that the system intelligently chose for you in advance. So always you can check up on those filters in the way that there's also this option of show all, obviously, right? So if you click on that, basically it's going to show you all of the applications in that particular category. So I'm just going to uncheck that. So going back to the filters, now I'm going to remove this option and press apply again. Okay, so now that that's applied, pretty much what we want to talk about this interface is mostly done. There's one more thing that we want to talk about, which is the Teams side of things. And in order to talk about that, first we need to close this interface, and then I'll show you the other side. So I'm closing this, and you see there's something called Teams. If I click on Teams, you're going to get this new interface, and the first thing that you can do is add teams. So let me click on add teams, and I'll call one team Team A and one team Team B. And of course I haven't even described why you would need teams. That's coming. Let's just show you this interface and then I'll describe that. Okay, so as soon as you've added these, for Team A, let's say that I want both of these guys to be part of Team A, and for Team B, I just want this guy to be part of Team B, right? So these are our two selections, and you see that there's this little icon here. If you hover over it, it says Team Leader. So one of these guys can be the team leader. You can only have one team leader per team. For this one, this guy is going to be team leader, and for this other one, well, there's one application, so we might as well make him team leader. So now I'm going to press save. So now we have teams. And if I go to the column section, you can add those two columns, teams and teams led, and what you're going to see is, well, these are the teams this guy's a part of, and the team that he leads is this one, and the same information for this other reviewer. So now we've shown you how to use the Teams interface, but we still haven't described why you would want to assign teams, and that's what I'll be talking about in the next tutorial.